Hello. Last time you were with us, you got Fancy Jeff. Today you get Dorky Jeff. That's right, I have an ulcer in my eye. Usually get those in your tum-tum. Lucky me, right? So today we're doing a variety of different modifications with the GR Corolla. Now, you might not know what it's like living in a 4-season climate like we have, and it is dead in the middle of winter, but things are looking up. Spring is upon us, birds are chirping, and we want to get the car a little more dialed in on a few items. We also have some very exciting parts coming. We have coils here. We've had coils for like a year. It's been a long time. No, it wasn't a year. Anyways, they're here. We're gonna wait a little bit longer till we put those on. I just don't want to hit an iceberg and sink my ship. Today we're doing a little mix of aesthetic and function, so let's get to it. Let's go shopping. First off, I do want to say that we have a lot of stuff in stock. So if you guys are looking for a Turbo Smart blow-off valve or recirc valve, EBC brake pads, Forge Motorsports products, we got a bunch of it. Cusco stuff. If you want to really put some rumble in your seat, this pitch stopper, let me tell you. We have a couple different things we're going to be installing today. We have the Motorsport Plus race style yellow DRL modules. Now I do want to talk about these a little more once we get out there. Next one, we have the Radium Engineering master cylinder brace. So this is going to be just some extra support for the master cylinder for hard braking. Sometimes what can happen is that can flex a little bit with all the pressure on it. So this just holds it in place, less squish, more push. We got these guys, Golden Wrench. They have some cool products. I started following them once we got the GR because I saw that they were doing some stuff. The packaging, may I first say, phenomenal. Like, this is awesome. These are going to replace the rear reflectors on our car. I'm not a big fan of that. I think it's like a DOT regulation thing that doesn't really need to be there. So we're gonna put these little fake vents in instead, and it should clear up the back of the car a little more. What is a master cylinder brace? Why did they make this? Why should I put it on my car? Well, if you do plan on driving the car more spiritedly, this has been always a really popular mod for Subarus. I have one on mine, many have it on theirs. What happens is when you push on the brakes, brake booster compresses the brake fluid in the master cylinder. And what can happen is with all that fluid and that compression, it can flex the master cylinder. So we'll show you once we open it up. And that'll cause like some squishiness, or obviously if it's moving the thing you're compressing, it's not going to be giving you the full performance. So what this does, it adds some extra bracing on that component so that your braking feels more confident and there's no flex to it. They recommend removing the air box, but the Forge Motorsport one that we have is a little smaller, so I'm gonna try not to do that, but let's get in there. All right, Jordan, my voice of reason behind the camera, said, you might as well just take that off just so you don't scratch it when you're taking the other stuff off. Yeah, you're right, you're right. I'm thinking short term here. All right, next step is gonna be removing the ECU actually, so we can reach back there. So we're just gonna start off by removing the connectors here. Now these are, like, there's only one way to put these, and there's only one connector that has the same orientation as each other, so I'm not super worried about trying to mark where it goes where. It's pretty obvious. All right, so there are 2 nuts on the back. They are 8mm nuts. So I want to very carefully take these out because I do not want to drop these in the engine bay. And they are very small and very tough to get to. Well, not tough, but. All right, we got both those 8mm out. We're onto the 10mm. Don't need this anymore. So if you take a closer look under the reservoir here, that large silver cylinder is going to be the master cylinder. If you feel it, it feels pretty firmly in place there. But once again, under like a very high load, it can have some flex. All right, we're gonna remove this black piece here from the strut tower, which is this area. This is where the suspension strut is. So I tried to use like a deep 12 mil socket, but I kept hitting this hose in the reservoir here. So it seems like a shallow socket with an extension is gonna be a better bet. There are 2 black stickers that cover holes, unused holes in the strut tower. Those are what we have to remove. So there's gonna be one down here and one right up here. So it's kind of hard to see them. Radium does have some instructions to follow with pictures, but yeah, we're gonna remove, there's 3 of them. We're just gonna remove the bottom 2. Honestly, I can only see the bottom 2, so easy enough. They're threaded inside. So here's the fun part. We get to open the box, and you may notice it's already been opened. So what's included with this is going to be obviously the master cylinder brace. They do have a nice QR code for the instructions and a sticker. We got some hardware here. This is going to go in those 2 holes that we took the stickers off of. And then this is packaged like somebody from the 80s did it, if you know what I mean. Okay, so on the piece itself, we're gonna see the nut. This is what actually pushes against the master cylinder, keeps it in place. And then this smaller nut here, the silver one, is gonna be where we can adjust the tension to. Now, this is not a choose your own adventure. What they do for this part is make sure that you can tighten it to give it full tension. You can't go like over or under, you're not supposed to. You should be right on the master cylinder itself and not be able to spin it any further. Once again, it's not like you give it more tension and it's gonna break better. Just is what it is. All right, so we have a 6mm hex head here. That's gonna be used for these 2 bolts that hold it in place. I'm gonna go ahead and do that first, and then we'll go ahead and put tension on that master cylinder. So I'm going to start with the lowest one. Oh, we found it. All right, I'm gonna throw this on for a little bit, and then I'll go to the next one. I got both the hex keys in there firmly, but not tightened all the way. And I'm gonna just put that top 12mm bolt back. For any newbies, it's to make sure that all 3 holes are gonna line up before I start tightening any of them down. 12mm tension, so we're gonna go back and do the hex keys again. So I'm just going to fully loosen the green bolt until I can't any longer with my phalanges. And then I'm gonna loosen the silver nut, or I should say tighten it up the green screw until it's pretty much seated up there. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a wrench on both and tighten down the silver one, keeping the green one exactly how it's positioned right now. Master brace is in, we are tightened up. I would do like a driving video with you guys. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how to drive. It's gonna be one of those things where like we're really gonna feel it during like hard braking and like, so we do some events this year, which we have one coming up in about 2 months, the first for the year. We're definitely gonna be able to show you guys the difference that a lot of these parts that we're doing, though they may be incremental, kind of amount to a larger, better performing and better driving experience. More confidence in the car means more confidence in you, and we care about you. Let's button this up and we'll move on to the next one. Cool. All right, so next is gonna be the headlight modules. Now, the headlight, we did open the headlights up, we modified them, so we have taken them out before and opened them up. This module, you actually don't even have to open the headlights, but you should probably take the bumper off. I'm not gonna take these off all the way. Like I said, we do have some extra plugs from the LED components that we added when we modified the headlights, but luckily, I don't think we're gonna have to. So let me show you, the heat sink is actually visible from the top of the engine bay. It's gonna be this like, so this box with the ridges on it, you can see, it's just gonna be tough to get the hardware and especially put it back in once we're done. So that's why we took the bumper off for this. So these are a little different than my normal headlight board replacement. With newer cars, what they've been doing is actually having the LED boards on an external heat sink. So that's the cool part about these, is you actually don't have to open the headlights up. Now, all the previous cars we've done over the last 10 years, like WRXs, STIs, Foresters, whatever, you would have to open the headlight up to do that. So I know the newer style, like this car in particular, a lot of new BMWs have these where you literally just replace the module on the back of the board. So that's what's pretty cool about this. You don't have to open or worry about the headlight seal at all. So let's go ahead and show you how to do this. We have 2 bolts that are very easy to see. We're gonna have this one up here and this far one, which I've slightly loosened. The other ones are gonna be right down here, there's one. These are all 10mm bolts. We're gonna have one over here on the fender bracket. All right, so to get this out, we are gonna pull up on this tab to release it from that yellow nutsert kind of thing. And there we go. Like I said, we do have the main connector here. It's kind of locked in here. All you'll do is unplug this and then pinch the sides of that, pull it out. I do have that extra connector for my demon eyes that turn the projectors red, or I guess any color really. So what I'm gonna do is just remove this heat sink for us to swap the board and then just put the headlight back, and that way I don't have to worry about the additional wiring. This is a me problem, not a you problem. This is because I needed to be fancy. I needed to be cooler. All right, we're just gonna pull this out. There's a connector on there, so I just wanna be careful. The tab is on the bottom. There we go, and that's it. So I'll put this back for now. Always, I'll just put a screw in there just to make sure nothing dramatic happens. We have the new boards here. I'm gonna find the one that matches this side right there. And I'm gonna use a T10 bit to remove the factory board. Now when we remove this, we are gonna see some thermal paste, which helps conduct the heat from the board out to the heat sink on the back. And the new boards, I think, have a full pad. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and line it up with the 2 little posts there. I'm gonna put a little pressure on the board, just kind of push it in, make sure it's all nice and seated. But yeah, looks good. Now it's time to put it back, that easy. All right, so we're gonna take that same connector and plug it into the new board. And then we're gonna go ahead and line this up. Now I would probably just give it like a little bit of a wiggle as you push it back in. Make sure everything seats the way it wants to. That's looking pretty good to me. We have one side in. So what I'm gonna do is just try it out, make sure it's working. It's always good to try things before we button it up. All right, so they work. So this is with the light stock to the first click. They do look really good from the front, which is how the optic, there's actually an acrylic rod that runs through the top and bottom of the headlight. That's why there's two different clusters of LEDs, one for the top, one for the bottom. Now, if you didn't see the video where we actually took the headlights apart and looked at how everything works, we were actually gonna make a multicolor version of this board. But a big complaint from owners, even from the factory headlights, is that white LED is very dim. And we actually found that it wasn't the LED, it's actually the acrylic that they use to kind of flow the LED through the headlight. So unfortunately, if you look at this from the side, it's extremely dim. That's just how it is. There's nothing wrong with the LEDs themselves. Like I said, it is just like how the acrylic is made to disperse the light. So they could have done a little better job there. It sucks. When we did the multicolor one, it looked very similar to this, just like we had it on red. I was concerned that if we were to make that product and sell it and have it be like dim how it is, we'd have a lot of people complaining. But once again, you know, make the best with what you have. I think this is cool. It's not like an orange or like an amber color. It's definitely like almost like a fluorescent yellow, like a neon yellow, which is like kind of that more that motorsport look, which is why they call it motorsport boards. But yeah, if you look at like a lot of like DTM or IMSA cars or whatever, the yellow lights that they run are like more of this like neon yellow. It's like a high visibility so cars can see you. It looks cool, they're working, I like it. There is an option in the factory infotainment system where you can toggle the DRL on or off. I believe that's for the projector, like the actual low beam orb right there, where you can have that on and off. I'm gonna see if the C or like the swoop stays on with that, because I think that would be cooler if it was like this for running lights. I'm actually gonna also see if the demonize we put in the car can get to like a similar color. Right now I have them on red, but let's see if we can kind of lock in on this. Oh yeah, that's pretty close actually right there. I wouldn't mind that for a little DRL. So this is our before. So we have the white DRL boards, the white projector, and then if we go over to the after, this is our after. Pretty cool. I think it's a more aggressive look. I do want to have this car look a lot more aggressive this season coming up. You will see more of that in the next video, I promise. We have more aesthetic carbon fiber body parts coming, and then pretty soon some wheels. So stay tuned on that. But yeah, I like it, looks good. All right, we are in the last part, the black line, golden wrench, ace non. Is that how you pronounce that? So these are to replace these wonderful red reflectors. I know they make LED versions of these. The issue I have with those on every single car that I've seen, that I've installed, this seal does not last. They fill with water, the LEDs flicker, you get pulled over, it's not fun. So rather than try to do some LED ones, I just don't really care about that. I'm gonna go ahead and put these vents in instead. Now, DOT regulations on newer cars, you have to have a reflector on the back of the car or the back quarter of it. We're just gonna do these instead. They're either resin printed or actually molded plastic, but they look awesome. They look super good, but these are nice and molded. They have a threaded insert there to really bolt them in. And yeah, I think it'll give the car a, there we go. Look at that, matchy matchy. I don't know the best way to get up there. Oh, right here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take off some of these and see if we can work our way to that area. I like where this is going. I did wash my car just for you guys because it was very dirty. Well, the new ones have a little screw in the back, so I'm assuming these do too. I feel it. All right, we got the Phillips head. Let's go. Just one screw. It's been retrieved. Cool. So I did just have to push this tab down and this tab up, obviously, to get over the little locking pieces there. But yeah, that is gone. Bye-bye. All right, so I'm assuming based off the fantastic design, this should just clip in. Let me actually see if there's a gasket on the bottom one. So the factory one had these little kind of foam gaskets on it. So I'm just gonna reuse those, which I'm sure they ask you to do. I didn't really read the instructions on this because it was pretty straightforward. I like it, look at that. I think it's a lot more clean look. Very easy install. I will say it might be kind of difficult if you don't have a way to get the car off the ground, just to get like your arm in there and look worked around. I'm sure it's possible, but you know, just be prepared. If you have like a way to get the back of the car up a little bit, it might be easier.
Let's time you and see how fast you do it.
Oh, dude, I'm in.
Guess?
I'm in. I crave the competition.
2 minutes and 26 seconds.
What am I, a noob, dude? All right, ready?
3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, this isn't good, Jordan. Oh, this is doing the trick, though. Ah! There we go. Oh! Oh, nice. My little grommet stayed in there this time. I'm probably already over the time that you allotted, huh? Are you gonna doctor it so this is like 15 minutes? Oh, crap. Wait, this goes under or over? Oh, Jordan, I think I'm Scrooged. There we go. I don't even want to know how long it took. You know what? Let's take them out. I failed. Just throw them out now. All right, guys, that was the install of the Golden Wrench Blackline Performance rear reflector deletes. I am soaking wet now. That's my own doing. But yeah, we're gonna take this off the lift. Jordan's gonna get some cool shots of those new front lights. Reminder, all of these are available on our website, and most of them are in stock right now. So if you are keen to do a 2-minute and 40-second install per side and get rid of those, we got them. If you wanna keep your reflectors, we also have overlays that will go over it. You could do black it out, you could do a dark smoke tint, you could do light smoke. All those are great options as well on the site right now, circuitry.com.